The Wildcats take a week off after a win against Southeastern Louisiana. I'm Max Preston.
And I'm Grant Boone. We will look back at the big 48-27 victory down in Hammond, Louisiana, and we'll get Coach Dorrel's mid-season report cards. It's the Adam Dorrel Show right now. Welcome to the Adam Dorrel Show from the JMC Network studios on the campus of Abilene Christian University. I'm Grant Boone, alongside ACU senior journalism major Max Preston and Adam Dorrel, the ACU head football coach. After a couple of long road trips this month and two emphatic victories in a row over perennial playoff contenders, including last week's 48-27 victory at Southeastern Louisiana, the Wildcats get a well-earned weekend off. Today, no game. I'm curious, Coach, in a situation like this, you've won 2 games in a row. I know you like the week off. Yeah. Would you rather be playing football?
Yeah, you know, I've had that question asked a lot. It's kind of 50-50, to be honest with you. I mean, we don't advertise injuries a lot, and you know me, but it's coming at a really good time right now. We have some guys that just are beat up a little bit that need some time off, and we've been missing a few guys last week. So by having this week off, we're sure that we're going to have them. So it actually falls at a really good time.
So last year, Southeastern Louisiana, they come in and spoil ACU's homecoming, 56-21 win for them. Was your team motivated to face them this last week?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you otherwise. I think the one that really sticks out on homecoming is it's been a bad enough day already. In that last post pass, they threw for about 65 yards with 4 minutes left. I don't think sat real good with anybody, especially me. So our guys were extremely fired up to go down there and play, and not just for that reason, just to try to build on our culture and what we're trying to do. And I was so proud of our guys. It was, a horrendous atmosphere. It was, and BYOE, bring your own energy, and our guys did that, and it was our sideline compared to their sideline, there was no difference, and we had a ball for 3.5 hours, and it was a lot of fun to see our guys compete.
Boy, did you ever bring it. 48-27, the final score. We will take a look at that game against Southeastern Louisiana when we come back. This is the Adam Dorrel Show. Stay with us. Welcome back into the Adam Dorrel Show. Last Saturday night in Hammond, Louisiana, ACU backed up a huge homecoming win against nationally ranked Nichols with a resounding victory over Southeastern Louisiana. Coach, 48-27, the final score. A total of 75 points scored between the two top offenses in the Southland Conference. But your defense pitched a shutout in the first quarter. The only other game this year in which Southeastern hasn't scored in the first quarter, against LSU. They're ranked number 4 in FBS football. So being able to stop an offense like that, you get a 3-0 lead with an Oscar Hernandez field goal, you had to feel a lot of confidence.
Absolutely. To go out there and playing on the road, and it was very apparent, I think, to all of us that, we were going to be there for 60 minutes and we were going to play really well. And so I thought the defense set the standard for that, like they do a lot of times. Getting off the field, getting that field goal, I thought really helped our confidence. I thought it was good for Oscar to get him going, and I thought it was good for the rest of our team. He went out there and drilled it.
Yep. So in the second quarter, the scoring ramps up a bit. You get a touchdown from Tracy James, and the Lions respond with a touchdown of their own. But then you come right back on the next drive. Luke Anthony goes to Kalen Sadler. Was your team motivated to get that 10-point lead right back after they scored?
Yeah, I think, in football you always talk about momentum, and I think football can be, highs and lows, and you try to weather that storm a little bit. And we always talk about if the momentum swings on you, you got to change the momentum. The crazy thing is it never swung on a Saturday, and I was really proud of our players for every time the Lions did something, we came down and responded, and I think that really, for me, kept the pressure off our team, a young team. I think, you're up 3 possessions, then it gets cut to 2. If it would have gone to 1, man, those are hard things on the road, and so our guys played to win. I thought our coaches did a remarkable job of staying aggressive the whole night in all 3 phases. We played to win. We executed the game plan, and we didn't waver from it.
Here's an example. You're up 20-7 late in the first half. They're driving. They're inside the red zone. You hold them to a field goal. They actually had a touchdown call back because of a foul on them, illegal formation. 20-10 compared to 20-14. I mean, it's huge.
Huge.
Isn't it?
Absolutely, it's very big. It's big for her confidence, and it's big. Anytime you're on the road, man, and you can go into half having a lead like that, I think it was a real shot in the arm.
So the third quarter, both the teams score a touchdown, still a 10-point lead. Coming right out of the gate in the fourth quarter, you get a second touchdown from Tracy James, and you go up by 17. And later in the fourth quarter, Billy McCrary, he gets a 51-yard touchdown. Both your running backs were really good in the evening. Billy McCrary got Offensive Player of the Week.
Yep.
Just talk about how the whole rushing performance went that night.
Well, here's the thing that you're not going to see on the stat sheet. I clearly thought that we were in much better shape than they were. And we kind of felt that going into the game. They weren't playing a lot of guys on both sides of the football. I'm very proud of our strength and conditioning staff, Coach Miguez and Coach Luke Lancaster, for what they do. But I really feel like a lot of those runs pertain to our conditioning. I feel like our guys are in great shape. Our offensive line was doing a really good job. But if you look at our offensive line played from the start to finish, they played very consistent. They played really hard. And in football, you start seeing a lot of those runs come when the defense is getting tired. And, I mean, they'd been out there a long time. And not to take anything away from Tracy and Billy, because they were finishing their runs. They had the ball in the proper hand. We are so much better at this year. We call it weaponizing the offhand, to use the stiff arm. And, I mean, you can go back and just cut out clips on the year, whether it's a tight end or running back, of actually weaponizing their offhand and getting stiff arms. And on two of those runs, Billy does it, and it added an extra 30 and 40 yards on those runs. So big time.
It almost looked like it propelled him to the edge where he sprinted down the sideline. Your final touchdown was on a heck of a throw and catch from Luke Anthony to Torrin Justice. DJ Fuller has been in and out this year with injuries. We know what DJ can do when he's healthy. What have you learned about the likes, in DJ's absence, of Torrin Justice and Kobe Clark this year?
Well, to me, first off, I'm proud of Torrin. Torrin's had some growing pains here this semester, and he's continued to get better. And
First year here?
Absolutely. I'm proud of him for having a growth mindset. Everything that we have challenged him on, I have challenged him on, he has responded in the proper way, so I'm proud of him for that. Kobe Clark, again, I can't say enough about him, and I think Josh Fink, too, you throw in there, and even Coakley and Sadler. I mean, Caitlin Sadler's come out of nowhere, and I think Luke would tell you he has a ton of confidence throwing to him. But the thing is, Grant, you just keep mentioning name after name, and the defense is sitting there going, who's going to get the football? And then, oh, by the way, DJ's starting to get healthy again. So, we're excited to have him back, and he's getting better each and every day.
So we've talked a lot about your offense. The defense holds Southeastern Louisiana to an average number of 450 yards for them. Are you proud of your defensive performance in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with modern college football, you can't just look at pass yards, because teams like that, in my opinion, are going to struggle to score in the red zone, which they did. And our defense had a great game plan. That's what I love about Coach Jackson. He never wavers. He's not concerned about statistics. Fool's gold is what I call it, that passing stat, 400, whatever. It has nothing to do with the outcome of the game. And so he just sticks to the game plan. He gets his guys to believe in what they're doing. We never got ourselves out of position Saturday night by doing dumb things, by blitzing a bunch of people. And, yeah, certainly we felt like there's things they could have done better. But, I mean, for the most part, we executed our game plan. We kept receivers inside and in front of us, had our hands on a couple balls that those guys would have loved to have had, probably would even change the complexity of the game a little bit more. But, yes, super proud of them and the way they executed.
A couple of things as we wrap up. No turnovers for your team.
None.
On a night where it was misty and raining a couple at times. And then last thing, you haven't trailed in 8 quarters. You didn't trail against Nichols. You didn't trail against Southeastern Louisiana. It's hard to lose if you never trail.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the one for me, Grant, that stood out is after last year, I mean, we were just demolished in the fourth quarter. And so I think, we put an emphasis on we got to be in better game shape, which we've done. I've talked about that. We won the fourth quarter 21-10, and I thought that was a huge stat.
Well, I thought it was of note that against Southeastern last year, you said we need to look more like those guys.
Yep.
You now look a lot more like the best teams in the Southland Conference.
Absolutely, and I think
we're
playing like it. I think the speed is showing too, and there's definitely a lot of marked growth.
2 straight wins for these Wildcats. They are in the middle of these Southland Conference standings at 3-3. We've got much more on the Adam Dorrel Show when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Adam Dorrel Show. A lot of wins with other ASU sports teams right now. With a look at what's happening around the rest of the Wildcat sports world, here's Max.
Thanks, Grant. We begin with soccer as the team went on a 2-game road trip last weekend facing Sam Houston on Friday and Stephen F. Austin Sunday. The Wildcats were able to clinch a spot in the Southland postseason tournament after defeating Sam Houston 3-0. Christina Arteaga netted the first 2 goals of the game and Sam Vestal scored the third. ACU then ended up sweeping the weekend with a 1-0 double overtime victory against SFA. Arteaga came up big for her team, once again converting the sudden death goal. With 2 weekend shutouts, Rachel Johnson posted her 7th shutout of the season. As of now, the team is 5th in the Southland standings with a 6-3-1 conference record. They were scheduled to face Incarnate Word at home for their final regular season game Friday night. Last weekend, Josh Sheehy made an impressive run at the ITA Men's Texas Regionals. He took down the 10th-ranked Parker Wynn and 7th-ranked Sven Law in singles to reach the quarterfinals where he was eventually defeated. The men and women's tennis teams concluded fall tournaments last weekend and will resume in January. We turn to volleyball now as the Wildcats played a 2-game homestand last week against Northwestern State Thursday and Southeastern Louisiana Saturday. The team remained red hot, winning both matches 3-1 and raised its conference record to 9-1. Caitlin Mueller led her team over the weekend with 26 kills and Kendall Bossy passed for 100 assists. ACU was scheduled to play Houston Baptist Thursday on the road and will face Corpus Christi today at 1. As you've probably noticed, our JMC department upgraded to a new studio before this year began. ACU TV, however, has been hard at work for 2 years producing video content for many events on campus. Here's a look at how we produce this show each week.
Adam Dorrel runs up and down the sideline, jumping in the air. ACU at long last has a program-defining victory under Adam Dorrel. The final score, ACU 28 and Nichols 12.
I'm going to write the recap for the game. And I mean, it's one of the biggest wins in our history since going Division I. So I mean, this is a big deal. When we put the show together, we obviously based it around which were the significant plays and recapping the game. Obviously, long touchdown pass in the game. Kaylin Sadler. We're obviously going to show this highlight several times. Deep over the middle, wide open. 14-12 at that point.
I am just getting the script ready for Max and Lauren so they can fill it with their own script. I'm just getting the blocking done, so like where each thing is going to be, and then filling it with like the intros and stuff.
I just kind of write the preview, or like the beginning segments, introductions, and then we meet. And we go over content for the show, who's going to do the feature, what the feature for the week's going to be, what questions we're going to ask, who had a really good game, how the game unfolded, we recap it. I'm just saying, like, where do we make up the time that we lose?
So how much time do we lose?
We could give a minute to segment 1 because it's already 2 minutes, and then we can give another minute to segment 4.
I like that. Segment 2, how long do you want it to be?
We're going to do 6 minutes, and then if Hutton needs another 5 minutes, it needs another minute, then we'll take it off, so I'll make it 6 minutes.
Today we're down one camera person, so that means that Amber is going to be in the AD seat, and that we'll have 3 camera people out there, but Nathan's running audio, and so we're just shorthanded a little bit, okay? Lauren is hosting, okay, which is great, okay? So we're down Grant, okay? But we should be fine. So, but again, Abby is constantly shading today. Marlo will go over your thing in just a second. Essentially today, we're gonna have all 4 recording, okay? As you can see right here, you're actually recording,
Oh,
okay?
wow, cool.
So because AJ is filming, all right?
Oh,
so just at the end of the day, this is Amber's copy and this is our copy, okay?
Okay.
So you can just start recording right now if you want, so, okay? There are some fillers. In other words, like you'll see for just some random footage in here. I'm talking about like right in here, where it might not follow exactly, where you can just, if I say, let's do some filler here, let's just roll that. Once you have your last question, whoever has the last question, then I'm just basically gonna say 30 seconds, okay? So once he starts answering that last question, so you'll know your last question, I'll probably say 30 seconds. Okay, so we'll do good. Just relax. Let's have a mic test real quick. Let's do a mic test. Okay, so Amber, if you could be Coach Dorrel, it'd be great. Yes.
Okay, all right.
And here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2.
The Wildcats head to Louisiana for a second time to face the Lions. I'm Lauren Franco.
And I'm Max Preston. We'll preview the game against Southeastern Louisiana and recap last week's homecoming win against Nichols. It's the Adam Dorrel Show right now.
Good job.
All right, here we go. Segment 1, everybody ready in the control room? Yes. All right, everybody ready in the studio?
Yes.
All right, in 5, 4,
Four,
3,
three.
2.
Welcome to the Adam Dorrel Show from the JMC Network Studios on the campus of Abilene Christian University. I'm Max Preston alongside fellow senior journalism major Lauren Franco and the head coach at ACU, Adam Dorrel.
Okay, here we go. We're good. Okay, go ahead, Max. Just say it. Yeah.
Well, we will preview ACU's road matchup with the Lions a bit later in the show, but when we come back, highlights and Coach Dorrel's analysis of the game against Nichols. Stay right here. It's the Adam Dorrel Show.
Okay, Hannah, just go up there and say no big deal because we were running into highlights. So that's an easy fix.
Wait, Max, we were running the highlights, so it's totally fine if you didn't do that.
Prompt
It was totally fine. Like
Okay, good. Sadler gets a 65-yard touchdown pass from
We'll give him a
Luke
couple
Anthony,
seconds to
makes
talk,
the game
and then we'll go
14-6.
into the highlights.
Is this a play to Kalen all the way, and what's going through your mind after
Ready,
that
two,
play?
Yeah,
take
well,
2.
if you go back and you look the last couple of weeks, we'd been struggling to
And
protect
ready highlights,
and try to throw the ball down the
and
field.
roll
I mean,
highlights.
McNeese, when somebody
Good.
plays
This
man
is
coverage
how long,
like they
Marlo?
do,
Pretty long?
You've got to try to
Okay.
get some deep routes, and unfortunately, just from a protection standpoint,
Okay.
hadn't been
Again,
great.
we'll come
And so
out
we
to
max
camera
pro'd
2.
on that particular
Just let it
play.
roll. When she says
no,
2.
it's a play we call Smokey, and there's 3 guys on the primary read.
Good.
It's just a high-low
Good
read
job,
for the
Marlo.
quarterback.
Roll it.
For what I hear, just the good
Okay, good,
self-talk,
good.
teammate talk to each other. It was
Good.
it was confidence, not cockiness. You know, it was confident of, you know, we're doing this,
Okay.
this, and this right. But
Keep
you know,
counting me down.
We got to fix this.
When
and
she
this.
says
And
2 again, okay, you'll go
on
back
that
to camera
particular
2.
toss play, it was out of
So he's
bounds,
talking about
something
it,
they'd never
okay?
seen from us before. To me, there was a lot of really good things on that, but Lim Flowers on his initial lead block, and then Cody
Absolutely. Well,
Ennis.
Coach, congrats on the
Thank you.
big win. We will preview tonight's matchup a little later in the show, but for now, take a look at some of the scores around the Southland Conference. Don't go anywhere. It's the Adam Dorrel Show.
Way to go. Good work. Yeah. Good job. Way to go. Way to go.
As we welcome you back to the Adam Dorrel Show, take a look at the conference standings. Now a 3-way tie for first. McNeese, Central Arkansas, and Incarnate Word. And as we look at today's schedule, you'll see 2 of those teams square off. McNeese hosts the University of Central Arkansas, which is ACU's final opponent of the regular season. All right, we have no game to preview today. So, Coach, let's just go quickly through maybe each unit. And you give me a thought or two about how each has performed this year.
Sure.
Let's start with your quarterbacks, and I'm going to say quarterbacks because Samaje Davis has played quite a bit.
They've performed very well, getting better each and every week. What I've really seen from them in the last few weeks is better ball security, not trying to force footballs. Samaje's back and healthy and utilizing him a little bit more, but I've been very pleased with their progression and their leadership, and that's what you want in the quarterback room.
So running backs, Billy McCrary, Tracy James, and even Tyrese White. Talk about how they've impressed you this year.
Well, I think if anybody that's intimate with our program would tell you that was going to be a huge question mark going into this year. In spring football last year, we had 1 scholarship running back on the roster. So to come as far as we've come in that amount of time, we feel very confident in all 3 of those young men. Great skill set. They're very diverse in what they do. They can block, they can catch. I think they all feed off each other. Most important thing in that room, they're very, very unselfish and they root for each other, which that's not always the case in the running back room. So proud of them for that.
Let's talk about wide receivers. If I would have said to any ASU fan starting the year that you're only going to get a couple of quarters out of DJ Fuller, we might have thought this is going to be a long year, but boy, it's been the opposite.
No, it has, and it's just guys that are stepping up. And I think you've been into the locker room. One of the things I've always tried to do as a head coach is instill some buzzwords into people that you can talk about. But the last thing they see before they turn the corner to head out on the practice field and the game field is it says "next man up," and then underneath it, "will you be ready when your time comes?" And I just think our coaches have done a really good job of installing that into our program. There's no doubt that we would not be able to do the things that we've done without guys like Fink, Coakley, Kalen Sadler. Really proud of him. Torrance coming on, Kobe Clark. It's been a wide receiver crew by committee, but in my opinion, the best wide receiver crews across the country. Look at any level, they're very diverse, and the ball is spread out amongst them. And again, they're doing a really good job of encouraging each other.
So the guys that buy you that time, the offensive line, putting on a good performance in the rushing game and pass protection. Talk about their performance.
Again, I think if you're very familiar with our program, I think it would be an understatement to say we didn't play real well in the O-line last year. And so in 1 year's time, through recruiting, player development, hired an offensive line coach, we feel like that is a group that has had marked progress. We're playing on the average about 9 guys, not every game, but for the most part. That is a very, very tight-knit group. It's one of the most tight-knit groups on our team. Those guys are very passionate. What I love about that group, you go top to bottom, man, there are so many guys in there, Parmley, Anderson. You look at those guys. We got engineer majors in there. We got 4.0 majors in there. It's a highly intellectual group.
Let's go to the defensive side of the ball, and let me ask you about defensive line and linebackers, your front 7. The pressure they put on the quarterback in the last 3 weeks have been significant.
Absolutely. I think if you start at the beginning of the year, I think it's something we all wanted more pressure on the quarterback. The quarterback had too much time. And, to me, what we're doing is a testament of our coaching staff and schemes. They're seeing what we have. Okay, that wasn't working. Let's go back and adjust. But bottom line, our guys have just tried to get better each and every week. They're playing with a lot of great second effort up front. Cole Burgess is doing a lot of really good things. And, between him and Jeremiah Chambers and Jack Gibbons, Quayshawn Washington, it's just a good group right now.
So defensive backs, Adonis Davis, Blue Anafade, they're kind of being hidden by Jeremiah Chambers' performance this year.
Tackle-wise, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But talk about how they're doing this year.
Well, I think between Bolu, Richmond, and Adonis Davis, I think those 3, and I'll throw another name in there, Coy Richardson, but it's been a group. We've rotated so many guys back there. Mac has played really good. He's playing so well on special teams. But again, it's just a group that those guys really care about each other. They have really good work ethic. Their attention to detail is really good. And I think, for me, I look at a guy like Bolu and just the leadership and the toughness. And that dude brings it each and every day. He is we have so many kids, but I look at him, he's going to be so successful when he's done with football because he's got great people skills. He's got tremendous work ethic.
Hey, congrats on the 2 straight wins. Enjoy your bye week.
Will do.
We will do the same. ASU has an off day. We're back with you next week to preview the game against Northwestern State. For Max Preston, Coach Dorrel, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the Adam Dorrel Show.